from like an offensive admiration standpoint, what is it about what you do see of them that impresses you?
I watch highlights. Obviously, I don't really watch their game film. Tremendous team speed, big playability. I think what the quarterback's done is remarkable for a young player. I think Andy's a terrific coach. Obviously, he's done it at a high level for a long time. But those are the things that jump out as you just, you see all the points they're scoring, you see the things that they're doing. They're fun to watch, the highlights I see.
Chris Jones, why is he so good? What is he?
Unbelievable quickness, really great motor. They move him a lot. Like, he doesn't stay wherever he's lined up. He doesn't stay there. He's got strength too, so if he misses with his initial move, he's got the ability to still push the pocket. Tremendous player. I said to the guys, I think he's one of the top interior linemen in the league. We go against guys like Aaron Donald and Sue all the time. This guy's right up there with them. I think he's a dominant player.
What have you noticed about the officials cracking down on holding in the line of scrimmage?
I really haven't paid much attention to it. Obviously, some of the ones last week, they were holds. We need to be cleaner with our hands. We need to coach it better. We need to be more disciplined with it. It's certainly an emphasis for them. You can see that. You'd love to say, oh man, hey, we're in overtime, let them play, but there's rules, and they called them, so we have to deal with it.
You always want consistency on the offensive line. It looks like there might be another change this week depending on injury status. What is it about the way you practice that prepares anybody to go in this one?
Well, we move them. We've always moved them around. From the time we started OTAs and training camp, we've always moved them around. You have to do that just because during the course of the year you're going to have certain guys that get dinged up and things like that. Again, I think going against our defense and the way we practice, going against Frank Clark and Jay Reed and those guys is awesome for us. We have an ability, it's pretty cool. You watch us practice, we can go pretty much full speed without having collisions and things. I think that certainly helps us because it's just the speed. It's the speed factor that you don't get all the time. Again, we've got different options that we're looking at, and we'll see how some of the injuries play out. But we'll have guys that go in there and fight and play well, whoever it is.
They get a lot of sacks too, as well, just overall. What's sort of the key, I guess, from your guys' standpoint?
Really good pass rushers, obviously. Again, they've got Jones inside, who, again, like I've already mentioned, I think he can be dominant at times, is dominant at times. D Ford, explosive, undersized guy, but explosive, unbelievable motor. And then, of course, Justin Houston. You just look at what he's done over his career. It's pretty much enough said about that. But they've been up in a lot of games. So obviously you get where you have to throw to catch up and stuff like that. That plays into their hands a little bit.
Did you face both Scarborough the year you were in Georgia?
I think so. I believe so. But I know we looked at him coming out, more than anything. Adds great depth to our room. Big, powerful guy. You don't realize how big he is till you see him out here running around. So we're excited he's here and think that he adds great depth for us.
What was your evaluation of him coming out, and what do you see of him now that he's here with you?
Very powerful, great inside runner. Ability for yards after contact, which obviously we like. He got better as the game went. He played behind the offensive line where they were moving people. They were asking him to carry it, 30, 35 times. So just a very, very good in between the tackles runner that moves the pile and gets a lot of yards that maybe aren't there from a blocking standpoint.
Back in August, Brian, you told us you wanted to run the ball when teams knew you were going to run. You wanted to pass it.
Good memory, yeah.
How have you done with that, do you think? Before
Again, I think it's always some good, some bad. I think, for example, Green Bay is one that pops into mind, right? They knew we were going to run it in 4 minutes. We were able to do that. Carolina, again, they knew that they were going to try to stop the run. They knew we had to go try to throw to catch up late in the 2-minute drive. We were able to do that. There's been certain weeks that we haven't been able to do that for different reasons. But it is an emphasis. I would have thought last week we'd be able to find a way to win the game. We didn't. It's unfortunate. But we don't have much time to think about it. We got a terrific test coming in here this week. But we try to stay on course. I think we do a pretty good job of it.
David Moore hasn't gotten a ton of targets the last, 3-4 games, whatever. Just sort of the way things are playing out, or sort of.
Yeah, again, you never know where the ball's going to go. Some of it's based on coverage. Last week had a big 3rd down conversion. I think he kind of exploded for a while, so people are paying a little bit more attention to him. But again, they go in bunches. It's like we were waiting for Doug to break out, right? Oh, when's Doug Baldwin going to I mean, I think honestly the second touchdown he had is one of the best catches I've ever seen. I mean, not just the ability to catch the ball, but the ability to secure it with the safety closing on him. So they come in bunches. I mean, it doesn't really matter who makes the catches. He certainly can help us. We love that when he gets one-on-one matchups, which this team's going to give us those. So maybe this is the week.
At this point in the season, are you surprised by, what Chris Carson's able to do on second, third, fourth efforts on the same run, or is it just, that's just Chris?
I don't think there's anything that he does that surprised me. I will say this: I thought it looked like he was stopped, and then I saw him kind of bounce out, and I saw they had actually two guys running off the field celebrating, and then Dwayne was obviously there to assist him. But if you take a look at the film, which you guys have seen the copy, but David Moore, unbelievable block. He's kind of locked on the corner of the safety, and if he's not there, then there's another body. So it just was a tremendous play by really the entire group. And I told the group, I said, that's when you know you got the right guys playing. I mean, it's 4th and 1. Games in the balance, and for those guys to play that hard in that situation, it could have been like, oh no, he's stopped, we didn't get in. It wasn't that at all. Those guys believe in one another, and it was cool to see. I was very proud of the group.
You told us yesterday you didn't know it was 4th down. Does that puzzle you?
Is that right?
Concern you?
Yeah, it probably means I need to do a better job of communicating. Who said that, Chris? Oh.
Well, I brought it up only as indicative of his effort.
Yeah,
the fact
that's
that he
yeah.
would do that.
Without knowing it, yeah, that's amazing. Young football player, talented, playing so well for us, and just some of the runs that he had in that game were just dynamite. So.
I talked to Chad yesterday. How concerned are you that style can't, for the long haul, sustain? You can't have him on the field week in and week out.
I was with Frank Gore for the last 2 years in Indianapolis, one of the best of all time. It takes a toll, but I mean, Frank Gore, I was always like, when do you feel good? He's like, oh yeah, usually by Friday or Saturday. I mean, so it does, but some guys just have the ability to answer the call. Chris is just one of those guys. He just loves the game. He's got obviously tremendous talent, but they have a certain style, and you're never going to ask him to change that style. That's why Frank Gore is going to the Hall of Fame. That's why he's going to be one of the top three rushers to ever play the game, because of that mentality, that attitude. So I think Chris has that same makeup.
Speaking of running backs, I know Rashad's been hampered lately, but what did you see of him as far as his progression from the beginning of the season and training camp until recently?
Oh, huge strides. Learning the playbook, number one, was a challenge for him. Again, coming and learning all the different things that we do. They were, very, not simple, but they were very kind of two-back oriented at San Diego State, so that was a big thing. We've always known he's talented. I think people think it's just going to turn on automatically for him. It doesn't, especially when you're playing multiple guys. But just the look in his eye now, the confidence, even when he's rehabbing and in meetings, when I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him or I'm asking him a question, there's a quiet confidence where maybe in early August or even early October, I'd ask him a question, he'd have to think about it, or he'd look at me, and now he just spits the answer out. So it just comes with the maturation process of a rookie.
I know it's a limited amount of snaps, but what have you gotten for a sense of Eric Berry and seeing him back for them a little bit that he's been out there?
Yeah, again, it is. It's a limited amount of snaps, but all you got to do is look at his resume and what he's done. Terrific football player. Immediately gives them a huge upgrade having him back there.
Brian, obviously you guys don't throw it a ton, but Russell's still third in the league in touchdown passes. You become a little more aggressive when you get into striking distance or in the red zone?
No, I don't think so. I think it just, the way we play, our philosophy of running the football first, it sets up the play-pass game. And again, I've said this many times, they've certainly heard me say it. I think Russell is the best, or one of the best, deep ball passers I've ever been around. He just got a terrific ability to know the trajectory and the timing of the throw. And then, of course, there's things that he does that, that you can't coach. I mean, the touchdown to Doug, the second one, truly, we gave him a minus. You can tell him I said that. We gave him, because Tyler was open. And so it's one of those deals where he breaks left. It's like, no, what are you doing? And then he kind of throws it, and you see Doug make the catch. I mean, those are things you can't teach. So that ability to improvise certainly adds to his totals, but we know where we start, we know where our philosophy is, but we also know when teams want to play a certain way that we can hurt them over the top.
It's been pretty publicized that the Chiefs has taken a lot of different offenses that they've seen. Will you guys take anything from them that you've seen?
Russell's ability to improvise like that?
Yeah, again, we haven't studied them a whole lot. You know, Pete obviously is always looking at the opponent and coming in and saying, hey, this is pretty cool that they're doing. Sometimes if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch out here what they're doing. There's some really cool formations. But again, they're just, you know, they're very explosive. They're very, very fast. The quarterback's playing an unbelievable level, and Andy Reid's one of the best of all time. I mean, I guess it was 2 weeks ago he broke my father's record in Kansas City for wins. So it's pretty cool. They came down, did something with my father where he could congratulate Andy, and I mean, he won a lot of games in Kansas City, and Andy's broken that record. So terrific coach.
What did they do?
When they came down to visit, they just did a little. Taped a little highlight where he could speak. He, you know, was on that day, so was able to congratulate Andy, and the place went crazy. I guess I wasn't obviously there, but the Kansas City holds a dear place in our family's heart.
How's he doing?
Doing okay. He'll actually be at this game. This will be the first road game that he'll be able to attend. He's coming in for Christmas, so he's doing okay. Tough disease, but we're excited to see him. Thanks for asking.
JD McKissack has, you know, played in spurts, gone to snap here, snap there since he's come back. I guess just what have you seen from him since he's, you know, been back practicing and playing with you guys?
Well, I mean, obviously you see the playmaking ability, you know, in the overtime, the play that he, you know, went behind those guys. I think he's getting his feet back up underneath him. We love him. I mean, there's nothing that he can't do. He can run the football. He can protect. He can make plays out of the backfield. It's just, again, hard to get guys rolling when you've got, you know, Chris and Mike. But one of the guys that Russ trusts, you know, absolutely trusts, has no questions about him. So he doesn't need to play a whole lot for Russ to believe, okay, he's over there, I'm going to do this. So terrific football player that's just going to continue to get better. And now that he's back full speed, we'll use him a little bit more.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks. Yep.